members who have joined for this national conference on international taxation. Yeah. Good morning to all the delegates who have joined in for the. Yeah. Is it audible? Hello.
Yes, it's audible.
Yeah. Good morning to all the delegates who have joined in for this national conference on international taxation. I welcome the speaker of the day, CA Kala Subramanian.
Sorry, ma'am, am I audible to you?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'll continue.
Yes, ma'am.
So, welcome to all the delegates who have joined in for this session. We have CA Kala Subramanian, who is CA, who will be talking on the topic of role of CA in Singapore and various services as a CA we can render in the state of Singapore. And I'm sure Singapore being such a beautiful country, there are a lot of opportunities for chartered accountants there in terms of career orientation. So before I request Madam, friends, you are aware yesterday and day before we had 2 sessions and spoken about 4 countries. I'm sure these 2 countries also will give us a lot of information. So to start with, we'll request Kala Madam to address. Before I request her to address, I'd like to introduce Kala Madam. She is currently working with Enam Asset Management Singapore Limited as a COO and director. She has more than 24 years of work experience in investment bank management, corporate finance, compliance strategy. She has leadership role and was part of the management team in restructuring, risk management, financial management. She is a commerce graduate from University of Madras. She is a chartered accountant. She is a certified public accountant of Australia, and she acts as a director in
Sir, it seems you're muted, sir. You're not audible. Haresh, ma'am, is that audible?
No, he's not audible.
Yeah. She is the first lady chairperson of ICAI Singapore chapter, and the chapter has won the first time second best overseas award during her tenure in 2020. She speaks in different forums. She is a classical dancer, singer, and a cultural oriented person. She traveled a lot and lived in few countries before moving to Singapore. She has been part of various non-profit organization activities. Welcome to you, Kala Madam, for joining this webinar on the topic of National Conference of International Taxation. I'm sure you're aware that we had sessions on role of CA in Australia, Malaysia, role of CA in UK and USA, and today we have these 2 topics of role of CA in Australia, Singapore, and Dubai. So with this brief profile and introduction of Madam, so I would request Kala Subramanian Madam to address the gap.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, CA Naresh Chandra Gali, Secretary, for your kind introduction. I'd like to thank the Committee on International Taxation of ICAI and SIRC, Regional Council of ICAI, for giving me this opportunity. And thanks to all the organizers and the people working behind the whole team. Now, today, the topic, as she said, is Singapore. We are going to talk about the financial services. First, a little bit about Singapore, financial services and role of CAs. The discussion flow today will be, the first is we speak about Singapore, how the business, and it's also important to know about the Singapore economy outlook and what are the financial services you have here and what are the services performed by CA, outsourcing, and what are the areas of collaboration and role of Indian CA. The last, if you have time, we'll do the overseas opportunities connector. And first is Singapore business. Singapore is a maritime gateway to key Asian markets. You all know it is located at the crossroads of the east-west trade and within the 7-hour flight radius of the emerging Asian markets. Singapore's strategic location in the heart of Asia enables businesses to access the region's rapidly expanding markets. And next is, it's a robust economy. Why you say it's a robust economy? Singapore has a well-developed free market that is based primarily on trade finance and manufacturing services. That accounts for 75% of the country's GDP and employ 80% of its workforce. The country has managed to achieve very low unemployment rate while maintaining low inflation. Most foreign investors and companies are attracted to Singapore. Why? It is due to its geographical location, which allows them easy access to the greatest market in the world. Singapore's regulatory environment, this is very important, is highly conducive to the setup and operations of a firm in Singapore. Singapore's economy has been ranked by the World Economic Forum as the most open in the world, the third least corrupt, and the most pro-business. Singapore has a low tax rates and the second highest per capita GDP in the world. The top 3 reasons to invest in Singapore include its proximity to China, its free trade philosophy, and a diverse economy. Singapore is known worldwide, as you all know, for being a great place for expatriates, investors, and entrepreneurs looking to expand into Asia. Its development into a financial hub conducive for trade, excellent infrastructure, and a stable, progressive, legal and regulatory framework are just some of the reasons that it makes very appealing. And now, what is that it's attraction to Singapore? A robust economy and no currency control. As I said, it's a free market economy. The next is also, moreover, it holds no public debt externally. The government carries out judicious foreign investments and provides subsidies on housing, transport, education, and health to its people. All these factors point towards a robust and stable economy. And the next, as I said, in one of the attractions, the infrastructure and geographical location. The country boasts a superior infrastructure that takes the first-time visitors by surprise. It has a world-famous state-of-the-art international airport and excellent highways, building, subways, and other technological infrastructure. All these are very important for ease of doing business in Singapore. As I said, the geographical location of Singapore also gives it the unique advantage of having access to the entire population of Asia, especially to other business hubs like China, India, Australia, and Malaysia. Next is favorable tax laws. Singapore is one of the most friendly tax systems in Asia, and it imposes no tax on dividends or on capital gains from a business. There is a tiered approach to both corporate and personal taxes in the country. The other one is availability of a highly skilled workforce. Singapore is known worldwide for its superior education system. It is not therefore surprising that this country has one of the best available skilled workforce in the market. Lack of corruption. When it comes to doing business in Asian countries, there can be a skepticism owed to the prevalence of corruption. However, Singapore is one of the notable exceptions. Public servants in the country are paid very well by the government, and there are strict penalties in place for corruption, which comes most often in the form of bribes. The other pointers is the ease of doing business and is the safest and a beautiful city. Now, we go to the Singapore economy outlook. And how was the outlook on 2021? This information is from the Ministry of Trade and Industry. The Singapore economy expanded by 7.6% in 2021. For 2022, they have maintained the GDP growth forecast at 3 to 5%. Economic performance in the fourth quarter, which is just ended in the last 2021, the Singapore economy grew by 6.1% on year-to-year basis on the fourth quarter, moderating from the 7.5% expansion in the preceding quarter. The economy expanded by 2.3%, faster than 1.5% growth recorded in the previous quarter. For the whole of 2021, the Singapore economy expanded by 7.6%, rebounding from the 4.1% contraction in 2020. So everyone knows why there was a contraction worldwide in 2020. The services producing industry, because we are talking about services, right? It grew up by 5.6%, a reversal from the 5.1% contraction in 2020. All service sectors posted expansions with the exception of administrative and support service sector. And what is the economic outlook for 2022? Singapore's external demand outlook has deteriorated slightly as a global surge in COVID-19 cases caused by the spread of the Omicron variant has led to the tightening of restriction measures in many economies. Meanwhile, global supply bottlenecks remain and are expected to persist throughout the first of 2022, thereby constraining industrial production and GDP growth in some external economies in the near term. Persistent supply bottlenecks alongside rising energy prices due to geopolitical tensions have also exacerbated global inflationary pressures. In Asia, China's GDP growth is projected to slow as its COVID-19 measures and property market slowdown continue to dampen consumption and investment growth respectively. Meanwhile, the key Southeast Asian economies of Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia are expected to grow at a faster pace this year due to a pickup in domestic demand and a robust external demand. In particular, continued progress in vaccine deployment in Thailand and Indonesia should support the further easing of restrictions in these economies. At the same time, downside risk in the global economy have increased. First, the trajectory of the COVID-19 pandemic remains a risk. While vaccination rates and booster rollouts have picked up in many economies, the potential emergence of more strains of the virus continues to pose a risk to the global economic recovery. Second, if global supply disruptions are more protracted than expected due to further COVID-19 outbreaks and logistical or production constraints, global industrial production may be constrained for longer than projected. Third, there are significant upside risk to energy prices. Amidst supply concerns arising from escalating geopolitical tensions involving Russia and Ukraine and in the Middle East as well as unpredictable weather conditions, a spike in energy prices would exacerbate inflationary pressures and weigh on global economic growth. Fourth, if monetary policy tightening in the advanced economies is faster than expected, market adjustments could be disorderly and risk to financial stability could intensify. In particular, large capital outflows from regional economies with high dollar denominated debt levels could lead to tighter financial conditions and derail growth in these economies. Domestically, our high vaccination rate and steady rollout of booster shots, I'm telling in Singapore, should facilitate further progressive easing of domestic and border restrictions. We have been seeing that Singapore is easing out all the restrictions. Even yesterday, we recently got on ease of lot of restrictions, either on the meet out or number of people gathering. So this will support the recovery of our consumer-facing sectors and alleviating labor shortages in sectors that are reliant on migrant workers. Air travel and visitors' arrivals are also expected to improve, which was not there in the last 2 years, with the gradual loosening of travel restrictions and expansion of vaccination travel lines. Now, financial services. SG Financial Service. Singapore is the flourishing financial center of international repute, servicing not only its domestic economy per se, but also the entire Asia Pacific region. The banking industry is a key player in the country's financial market segment, soon emerging as one of the strongest in the world. Factors such as a sound economic and political environment, conducive legal and tax policies, reputation for integrity, strict enforcement against crime and money laundering have contributed to Singapore's status as international financial center after Japan and Hong Kong. Today, there are as many as more of 117 foreign banks and 6 local banks that dominate the banking scene. If you say the financial sectors, and what does this services industry covers? Banks, merchant banks, finance companies, insurance, securities, futures and fund management, financial advisors, money brokers, money changing and remitting business. The financial industry employs almost about 200,000 jobs and accounts more than 10% of the country's GDP. It covers mainly banking, capital markets, wealth management, and insurance. And some of these jobs include compliance specialist, investment analyst, underwriter, and claims. Due to its central location in Asia Pacific, it is home to many financial institutions. A number of these financial institutions have also chosen Singapore as their global or regional headquarters. The latest global financial index shows that Singapore is the third most competitive financial center in the world after London and New York. Singapore has overtaken Japan, became the largest foreign exchange center. Singapore is always a growing wealth management hub. Now, what are the factors that have contributed to the success of banking industry in Singapore? It's liberalization of the domestic banking market. Local banks strengthened the regional presence through mergers and acquisitions. Expansion of foreign banks, some of which made Singapore a regional or even global platform for important banking services, which in turn led to increased competitiveness. And then increased competition for the development of innovative products and more competitive pricing models. And then provision of sophisticated banking services like corporate and investment banking activities, apart from the traditional lending and deposit taking functions. Tax-friendly policies and a suite of wealth management services created a private banking room. Swiss giants like Credit Suisse, UBS have expanded private banking operations in Singapore to cater to new demand from Asians and Europeans. Recognizing and catering to the needs of small and medium enterprises who comprise a sizable banking market in Singapore. The banking sector has been critical to Singapore's role in financing local and regional growth, corporate finance, and the building of infrastructure. Over, as I said, 117 banks are present in Singapore, and a growing number have chosen to base their operational headquarters here to service the regional group activities. And next is about the regulator. structure, you have a single regulator, which is called the Monetary Authority of Singapore, having regulatory oversight of the financial services industry across various sectors. It is also the Central Bank of Singapore. The Singapore financial services industries covers the following sectors: banks, merchant banks, finance companies, insurance, security, financial advisors, money brokers, business, payment and settlement systems. The Monetary Authority of Singapore, the regulator, performs distinct oversight functions to achieve its objectives. Regulation, which involves setting risk-based capital and prudential requirements. Authorization, which involves acting as a gatekeeper for institutions that wish to offer financial services in Singapore. Supervising the conduct of business by financial institutions, including prudential and anti-money laundering and countering the financing of terrorism, AML and CFT measures. Financial surveillance. Enforcement, which involves taking action against those institutions and individuals who breach prudential AML CFT norms and market conduct requirements, and exercising resolution powers over financial institutions. Other financial services, the other financial services globally and locally owned asset management centers, the financial instruments, a hedge fund, private equity, and real estate as well, insurance firms such as direct insurers, reinsurers, insurance intermediaries, and ancillary services. And what is the banking trend that we have seen in Singapore is the liberalization of banking sector. In May 1999, MAS launched a 5-year liberalization package to strengthen the banking system and to improve Singapore's reputation as an international financial center. The second phase of liberalization began in June 2001, during which the restricted banks were reclassified as the wholesale banks to improve competitiveness in retail banking. Next, the growth of the private banking industry. Singapore has capitalized on the growing number of high net worth individuals in Asia and other regions like Europe and Middle East, emerging as a leading private bank destination for international investors. We have private banks, as I said earlier, such as UBS, Credit Suisse, Citigroup, Standard Chartered. They all provide this global wealth management services, wealth and lifestyle advisory services, investment strategies, tax and estate planning, asset protection, credit services. The other one is it's an investment banking hub. The investment banking industry opened up as Singapore matured into a key international debt arranging hub in Asia. The following factors have contributed to the country's active and thriving capital market: encouraging a steady flow of issuance from the Singapore government, statutory boards, supranational and corporates, launching the approved bond intermediary scheme that nurtured bond investors to sustain the debt market, growth of SGX as an international exchange, which attracted many foreign companies who account for more than a quarter of total listings. High standards to maintain investor confidence led to various initiatives to enhance disclosure, strengthen market discipline, and improve corporate governance of listed companies. These measures included the Code of Corporate Governance, revisions of the SGX listing rules, and the introduction of the new civil penalty regime under the Securities and Futures Act. Most investment banks in Singapore perform various corporate finance and investment related activities like underwriting securities, acting as an intermediary between an issuer of securities and the investing public, acting as a broker for institutional clients, facilitating mergers and acquisitions, and corporate reorganization. And what is the other trend we have noticed? Strengthening of the local banking groups. A major move in the local banking sector was the consolidation of the previous 6 local banking groups into the present main local banks, DBS, OCBC, and UOB. This led to the strengthening the bank's capabilities, building their management teams, and enhancing operational effectiveness. Now, SME Banking Services. Local and foreign banks alike have recognized that SMEs are an important segment of the market and offer a wide range of financial services tailored to meet their needs. And we have here the type of banks like they cater to individuals, corporations, or government agencies. As I said, the major local banks are DBS, OCBC, UOB, and major foreign banks we have here HSBC, Standard Chartered, Maybank, BNP Paribas, and Citibank. Now, what are the services performed by chartered accountants? So we saw about Singapore and what is the outlook, economy, and what is the financial sector, how it is a regional hub, investment hub, and what are the banking trends. Now, what are the services that is all performed by an accountant here? Here, they provide auditing and assurance services for a wide range of industries. For small and medium-sized enterprises, multinational corporations, and subsidiaries of overseas listed companies for their statutory and special audits. And next, taxation. Tax assessments, tax compliance. They assist individuals and corporates in tax assessment, tax compliance, income tax computations, and the necessary supporting schedules, as well as completing the tax return for submission to the Inland Revenue Authority of Singapore, in short we call IRAS. The taxation services include corporate, personal, GST, and international tax. And what is the next service? Advisory. Advisory is essential for any business, as it is a key driver for effective management control, proactive risk management, good corporate governance, and ongoing process improvement. Next is compliance corporate secretary. Chartered accountants apply their skill, knowledge, and integrity to give vital reassurance that the structure we create are strong and lasting, a platform to achieve great things. When we trust the information we have and the structures we build, we can achieve more. Accountants are business leaders in demand anywhere in the world. They have more than just technical knowledge. They have multidisciplinary skill sets, come from a diversity of academics background, and provide high value adding specialized services. With an international outlook, they provide holistic business advice and are the financial backbone of a company. In short, they are the trusted advisors critical to the success of a business. The CA qualification is designed to develop these business leaders who would hold the chartered accountant designation. Now, as for the career options, what are the options we have here is they can be the accountants, they can be a chief executive officer, they can be a chief financial officer, they are into financial accounting, management accounting, business valuation, into assurance and audit, internal audit, financial advisory, corporate finance, taxation, risk management. Coming to compliance, the compliance landscape is ever changing and it varies from country to country, but generally about the AML, CFT, it is common for all the countries. So being a financial hub and compliance is one of the most sought opportunity here. And there is also various courses and exams conducted by the regulator, MAS, for the people who would like to pursue in compliance. Next is outsourcing. And what are the sources that are outsourced here? Actually, when you say outsourcing, these include like finance and accounting, legal process outsourcing, product development and design, healthcare services, amongst others. As this is, Singapore is a global hotspot for entrepreneurship and outsourcing due in large part to their business-friendly compliance regulations, low corporate tax rates, extensive government support, and unique geographical location. Why outsourcing? Because outsourcing allows you to enjoy lower fixed cost service without the burden of worrying about full-time employee salary or maintaining expensive accounting software. Having fewer in-house accounting personnel also decreases the associated time and costs related to human resources, training, and payroll benefits. Outsourced accounting services for small business has become a popular route among businesses that want to reduce overall running cost and increase efficiency. Businesses who outsource their accounting services get access to high quality services while saving time, energy, and resources. They also get proactive counsel on important financial decisions. Generally, the business goals and immediate needs of a company are some of the factors that determine the type of accounting services they can outsource. Now, outsourcing can allow entrepreneurs to keep a healthy image of the financial institution and allow them to focus on the core aspects of their business. Outsourcing the accounting services in Singapore is one of the most business efficient decisions, as it is more effective to delegate this activity to a specialized team outside of the company. Now, the first one is we see accounting and bookkeeping services. So outsourced accounting and bookkeeping services are an affordable way for small businesses to keep their back office in order. See, bookkeeping is a continuous day-to-day task that takes much time. However, with the launch of the cloud bookkeeping software, outsourcing bookkeeping tasks has been made easier. So outsourcing your bookkeeping services provides you with a comprehensive reports that help you make well-informed financial decisions and increase financial data visibility. So what are these outsources do actually is they do accounting, bookkeeping, software setup, invoice processing, time and expense management, subscription, maintenance, renewals, order to cash management, balancing ledgers, employee expense processing. Outsourcing a bookkeeping service grants you access to a team of professional accountants who use the latest tools to ensure your data is secure and accurate. Now, the next, under this bookkeeping and accounting, you have accounts receivable, accounts payable management, which you can outsource, or drafting financial statement reports. Usually, preparing financial reports and documents for internal and external use requires the expertise. So there are firms who can do the service to consolidate your earnings and expenses via financial statements and also helps you to track. Next is controller services. In outsource, there are also people who provide the controller services, so which helps you to focus on growing your business with strategic management and guidance. So the outsourced controller, what are the services the controller can do? They can be a key performance indicator reporting, KPI, review of services or product line efficiency, cash flow analysis, management reporting, employee and vendor communication, compliance management. Next, they can also do the financial planning and analysis. They can do the cost accounting. The next outsourcing, so these all come under the accounting and bookkeeping services. The next services that can be outsourced the taxation. Taxation is, as you all know, it's tax reporting and filing. The best way to successfully prepare a tax report and filing is to outsource by a company that can help you stay compliant with local laws. So though here it is not very complicated, more the tax laws are very direct and very easy. The outsourced firm can help you minimize the financial and accounting errors that may affect your business operations. The tax filing and reporting involves like reviewing statements for compliance, tax support, payroll tax collection, filing and payment, tax planning to reduce companies' tax burden. Missing out on corporate income tax rebates, benefits, and deductibles can feel like you're leaving money on the table. So these are the returns that can be better channeled into your growth. So small business, usually they outsource all these services. And then the company secretarial services, which is also a very common services that is outsourced here. Whether you're a foreigner registering a company in Singapore or local looking to set up a private limited company, there are many little tasks that lead up to setting up a business in Singapore. There is also a number of regulations and statutory deadlines to remember. So it's for an entrepreneur and international companies, they always find it easy to outsource this to a company, a legal company secretarial agent to navigate these laws and to set up the company. Risk advisory. An adequate risk management strategy can help companies in Singapore meet their goals while observing the needed compliance requirements. Next is payroll and human resources. If your company is very small and team, you don't need to outsource this. Generally in Singapore and Hong Kong, it is very common. You can find companies with a small team. And what they do is when it is a small team, many of these operations or functional things are outsourced. But for human resources, if it is a small team, that can be done in-house also. But if it is more employees, it can be outsourced. So they do the complete services of handling the payroll obligations in Singapore according to the number of employees. So payroll processing is an accounting service you need to outsource for maximum productivity. By outsourcing the service, you can access to the latest software versions for payroll processing, which easily automate your payroll processes when you input the required information. The next one is Xbrl financial report services, which every company has to do after finishing their audited accounts. You have to upload this Xbrl, which we call LACRA, the local register of companies. So these are also the outsourcing services done here. They do the preparation of the financial statements. There is a format for Xbrl for ACRA filing, and then the ordinary financial statement have to be converted into an Xbrl format. The other services also they do is doing a GST, obtaining a tax identification number, doing the GST filing. So because GST registration in Singapore is mandatory if the taxable turnover of the company is above 1 million Sing dollar at the end of the calendar quarter, which is 3 months. And then the taxable turnover of the company is above 1 million at the end of the calendar year. So if you expect it is going to be more than 1 million, then you have to enroll for the GST and start filing it. Now, what are the roles of Indian Ces, what they do, and what are these sectors or services that Indian Ces are here? It's almost, I believe, 1,000 to 1,500. That's what, like when we have looked at the data or in the LinkedIn, 1,000 to 1,500 chartered accountants are in Singapore, performing or working in various financial sectors. So they manage the finances of an entity, they do financial advice and help with the money management. See, the chartered accountancy not only deal with the debit credit of the accounts, but they also play a very important role at a big level in nation building. Now, CAs are foundation base of the economy, and utilizing the financial expertise, the nation gets the right direction in various financial and economy related measures to enhance the economy along with the industrial growth. So they contribute in the fields of tax planning, capital budgeting, budget forecasting, financing, or any other activity, and every field as well. And I think now, after the GST implementation, even in India, the role of chartered accountants has become very important. From drafting the rules to the implementation, the role and expertise of CAs are utilized to the fullest. So, and the practical roles which are played by the chartered accountants: accountability, social accounting, taxation, capital formation, economic planning. So chartered accountant is helpful in building a nation, and that's what, like it was well said by Dr. ABJ Abdul Kalam, that chartered accountants are partners in the nation building. A rational person can see the participation of chartered accountants in every field. Their expertise knowledge is required in every area. They play eminent role in various fields. The knowledgeable advisors of chartered accountants are prerequisite in formation of any law relating to commerce, taxation, and legal fields. While forming a law or any act, chartered accountants are one of the most important committee members. They have comprehensive knowledge of important aspects which is important in formation to any law. While India, we say a chartered accountant, in Singapore, we have the same qualification. It's called Singapore CA. So we call it ISCA in short form. So they are the Singapore Chartered Accountants. Now, what about RCAs and doing these areas? As I said, you can see them acting as a financial controller in finance industry. You can see them in banks, in private banking, asset management, wealth management. It's a wide area, and many of them do the corporate services. As I said, that outsourcing, there are many. You cannot, a chartered accountant from India cannot get into practice. They cannot sign the audited accounts because there are some requirements which they have to complete in Singapore to be eligible to sign, and they have to clock a minimum audit hours. So, but they can do the other services as accounting, bookkeeping, corporate services, corporate secretary. Corporate secretary means Singapore is known for ease of business. They can set up a company, act as a secretary. And as I said, Xbrl, financial report services. And you can see number of chartered accountants in asset management industry, which is like you can see like Kotak or Reliance. And these companies they have in India, and they have their companies in Singapore. So many are into asset management. They act as an investment manager, investment advisor. So these are the areas. And now the chartered accountants, the people who have added additional skills. So it's always not enough just to be a chartered accountant. It is important when a person move overseas, you need to have additional skill, and that additional skill will enhance the opportunities of moving outside India. For it depends, it varies from country to country. In Singapore, there is Singapore CA, and there are people like who do CPA Australia, because like then the opportunity of getting a job or moving up the ladder is more. So it is important to add an additional skill or to do exams. As I said, the regulator here is Monetary Authority of Singapore, so they also conduct regular exams, and one can choose the area of specialization, and can select a role. As I said, compliance. Compliance is one of the the ever-changing landscape, and compliance is always like the job which is always looked for here. The other one is the human resources, payroll and human resources. I said this also outsourcing. So many chartered accountants can do these type of services, or there are chartered accountants who do all these services under one umbrella. So chartered accountants' role in taxation field is also commendable. They are the masters of taxation. Due to their discernment, they help in tax planning. It is significant to understand the difference between the tax evasion and tax planning. In the era of globalization, business entities and even government tries to join hands with foreign companies. When any business entity starts functioning on global level, many matters take place, like complying with laws of the Foreign Exchange Act, or complying with the rules of regulations of governments of every country where business is operating. So conducting business on international levels also involves inflows and outflows of foreign currencies. So a chartered accountant helps a business entity to deal with all these matters. I said Singapore being a financial hub, yes, there is an inflow and outflow of foreign currencies. So it is, so a chartered accountant helps to deal in all these matters because they have expertise in these laws and can gauge a business in all these matters. Now, see opportunities and challenges in working abroad. And what are the opportunities? I think I mentioned in the previous slide as well. This is now, especially after the COVID, it's a digital area. It's a new ABCD. What is this new ABCD? A is for artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud, and data. The next is, where are the other opportunities? Private equity and banking. I said Singapore is one of the regional hubs, the banking trends, the private equity, wealth management, risk assessment and internal control. AML again, so this and all come under compliance because Singapore is a FATF country, and that's why many people, like how you see, you have people have offshore funds in Cayman or Ireland. If it is in Europe, they have in Ireland, Luxembourg, or Switzerland, because these are tax havens. So now Singapore is also the system of called VCC, Variable Capital Company. So there are more fund management companies or investment managers being opened in Singapore. As I said, the ease of business and tax incentive corporate, the tax laws are not complicated here. And was single regulator, monetary authority of Singapore. So AML is anti-money laundering and the financial action task force. So Singapore is always a chosen destination for all the investors all over the world. It's because of the safety and it's well regulated by the regulator here. The next is the robotic process automation. As I said, especially after the COVID period, this 2 years, we all gone into the digital area. Now, these are the slide which says like what are the skills you need, the new skills required. Like I just made the sample of this. If you look, for example, it's a senior banker coverage officer, customer mindset, data storytelling, have a global perspective, be influencing and negotiation, lateral thinking. If you have a trader, institutional sales officers, then we should need to have advanced digital acumen, analytics and computational modeling, customer mindset, data storytelling. As always says, you learn and you also need to unlearn and relearn. This has to happen throughout your journey. Upskill and reskill. So CEO qualification alone is not life. Because we all live in the competitive environment, keep upgrading your skills, add additional qualification to the country you're moving in. So have a mindset. First is when if you want to move abroad, have the mindset, then have the necessary skill. So along with the CA, find out what are the other qualifications you need to have when you have to find the right job. The third is the toolkit. You know that after this, I think we have even had more MOUs. ICAI has entered to MOUs and MRAs with other institutions, professional institutions, and we also have chapters in more than 44 countries. So all this helps for the chartered accountants who are moving abroad. They can contact the local chapter office for any guidance needed or to get to know about the country. And the connectors for the job, there are people how they move to Singapore, either it could be from the internal company transfer, or they may either through these connectors get a new job and move. For example, in Singapore, who are these? Michael Page, Robert Waldor, Glassdoor, eFinancial. These are some of the connectors, the recruitment agencies. Okay, so what you can do? You can either do through recruitment agencies or approach the overseas chapters or formal via email or connect through LinkedIn or attend through any professional forum. And the other way is how to get to know through your professional friends, ex-colleagues, and similar network. Or it is very important to network in. You need to have a network friends. That's why you connected and come to know of any opportunities you have abroad. I just given what are the recruitment agencies in Singapore and in Hong Kong and in Malaysia and in Thailand. So that's what we say, don't just work smart on the right things you need. So I think with this, I'd like to come to the end of the session. So if there is any questions, let me know.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for this time, but I'll just share my screen.
Okay, the
My
first
screen.
question is, is there a way a practicing CA can afford or any consult? Yes, they can do it. What you can do is, for the first question I'm answering, you can have a tie-up with the local consultant here. Okay, there are people who are doing that from India and they tie up with the local firm, and you can do the services. That's what I've seen the common practices to have with the local tie-up. Have a person here and you need to register your firm, because if there is already a firm set up in Singapore, they would have already registered and meeting the local requirements. So that way you can do the services from India, and many are doing this also. Can you please refer few good? Yes, this is what I've shown in this slide. If you see my last slide, I've given that. Okay, one second, hold on. I said Michael Page, Robert Walter, Glassdoor, eFinancial Careers, or some of the good job portals. How to apply for a job in Singapore? As I said, see, have a professional network. Many times what happens is people working in the same organization through internal transfer, it happens. Otherwise, professional network, connect in LinkedIn. Try to connect people in the LinkedIn, because network, we say network is net worth. So you need to connect with people and then see where you should be keep on looking for an opportunity. Because what happens is sometimes is you see an opportunity, but you cannot say immediately you get it. So look out for the opportunities, connect with people. And as I said, there are overseas chapters, right? Try to attend all these professional forums, connect with people, and you apply for a job. Tax and regulatory. Tax is here, the tax is very simple. The personal tax is progressive taxation. Okay, as for the corporate tax is concerned, it is 17%. That is also, there's not much complication and that on the tax. And how to do here is it's January to December. How the tax run is, it is January to December, and you start filing for the personal tax you do before February, you file the tax here. And for corporates, from the year end, they give you 3 months, like we called ECA. The expected the computation of income, you file it. And then unlike India, what happens is you get here 1 year period to file the corporate return. Suppose today we are in 22, right? The corporate tax we do usually before November is the deadline. So when we do the tax filing for the corporate, we do it not for this. We do for the, if you are in 22, we do for 31/3/21. So here you get enough time to do a file a tax return. Okay, and regulator here is like how we have register of companies in India. Here we call ACRA, ACRA. So they are the one who regulate, like when you do the audited accounts, filing with them the AGM notice is called ACRA. Everything I want to tell you, one of the things I think which India has also have done fantastically in the, especially I will say in the last 4-5 years, is going digital. Everything here is online. You don't need to go there to the tax office or the register of companies, which is SACRA. Everything is through digital, online. And I feel even an online reduces the, why we say minimum corruption, because it's online, you don't face people. So one of the easiest way, everything here you can do online. So as far as the company is concerned, it is ACRA. So all this where you file your accounts, AGM, change of company, change of address, you all do ACRA, is very friendly. Everything is menu driven. Everything is available online. You go and do it. That is, and other one is the regulator like SEBI. How you have SEBI in India, we call here Monetary Authority of Singapore, the MAS in short form. So they are the one, the financial services regulator. So in terms of compliance, like for example, I work in asset management. So I have like one is we say the fixed, we call survey. Survey is basic. Can you please go to the questions? Yeah. So the thing is, one is have we call the variable surveys, which means submitting the statistics. So then there are filing returns. Depends on the company, whether you're in asset management, insurance, or banking. You have to file the quarterly returns, yearly returns, and then submit the compliance audit report to Monetary Authority of Singapore. So they oversee all this financial sectors like how SEBI does. So this is on the tax and regulatory. Any opportunity for controller and strategic? Yes, a strategic advisory. Yes, there are a lot of advisories which I think I covered in my presentation as well. Yes, there are scope for that. But again, on the advisory, it can be financial advisory. Yes, it can be on the business, or it can be on the fund. There is definitely a scope here. Again, as I said, there are many firms who have a tie-up with the local firms and do it. I hope I have covered answered all your questions. Let me know if there is anything else. Would be happy to do it.
And if there is any question, we'll share it in mail or something. We have some questions.
Sure. Please, I'll be happy. Okay, so and please let me also know, Selvam, if I have answered their questions. And you can share my email address, so if they want any more, additional. Yes.
Yeah, we'll be sharing this recording along with the, if you permit, we'll share the PPT that you have done from your end.
Yeah, I'll share the PPT with you, because one of them have asked about the, the connectors also, which is like recruitment agencies, right? And whilst I just want to share it, this is from my personal experience, because Selvam, we have time, right?
Yes, ma'am. We have another.
I just want to tell, from my experience, because 25 years, it's almost, I think 23 years I've been outside India. I've lived in other countries and then moved to Singapore. It's almost 11 years I've been in Singapore. Okay, so the thing is, many of them, yes, want to move abroad. It's always like, attractive. And 20 years ago, yes, we all moved, but now I think India itself, we have a lot of scope. You get good salary. So before moving to Singapore, or not only to Singapore, any outside overseas opportunity, so please, you know, check the basic factors, or like what is your salary, you know, is it commensurate with the job you're going to take, about your living conditions, and whether you can take your family or not. So check all these things before you travel to other countries for overseas opportunities. And I would really suggest, and this is because we have seen in the last 24 years how people have moved, and especially in the COVID, how people have stuck, right? And now what has happened everywhere, the work from home. So it doesn't matter which country you are in, people are working from home. So consider all these factors before you accept a job. Yes, Selva.
Yes, ma'am. So if there is any, share it to our mail, ma'am, and also share your contact details like your mail ID
Sure,
so that the
sure.
participants can reach out to you over mail.
Sure, sure. We have a chapter also, active chapter, yes, Singapore chapter. So I'll give the chapter email address as well, and they can connect.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Share it. Registered
Yeah, and I'll
participants
share a
along.
PPT as well.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Thank you. Naresh sir, over to you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you, CA Kala Subramanian Madam, for sharing your rich experience of the role of CA in Singapore. And as you rightly mentioned, before any member plans to move on, I think they should compare. But all said and done, Singapore is a dream place for a lot of members to move in and start, at least for sightseeing. And it's
Yeah,
also a
true.
financial, yeah, and also a financial hub of the Asia, as you rightly mentioned. So a lot of members, in fact, some of my relatives were planning to move to Singapore for their CA with MBA background. So I thought it was one of the very important destinations to move on. And thank you, madam, for sharing your time and enriching and encouraging members with regard to various roles CAs can play in Singapore. Thank you very much for being and sparing time. In the last minute, we requested and you accepted. It was very nice of you to participate in the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And it's my pleasure. Once again, thanks to all of you. And I wish all the best to all the chartered accountants. Be positive. I always say be positive. Okay, challenges do happen, you know, whether it is COVID or anything, we should positive thoughts and a smile makes a lot of difference. Okay, so I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Friends, we have CA Ugamoorthy Timayan, who is a CA from Dubai. Welcome to you, sir, to this National Conference on International Taxation. And thank you for accepting to be the speaker for this session on role of Indian CA in Dubai and various financial services activities which are performed in Singapore, and what are all the CA services which can be performed there. A lot of young members who are very keen on knowing the roles of a chartered accountant in Dubai. It's another very important destination for a lot of young members who plan to either move on to Dubai or set up an office in India for various outsourcing activities which happen from Dubai. So before I request CA Ugamoorthy to address, I'd like to briefly introduce him. CA Ugamoorthy is a chartered accountant from India. He has Bachelor's of Commerce from Bharatiyar University. He has qualified in IFRS certification from ICAI with a lot of experience in Dubai. He is a fellow member of the ICAI and has 14 years of professional experience in UAE. He served as a subcommittee member of ICAI Dubai chapter for redesigning the website of the past year, along with various past chairmen. He is successfully running his professional practice in Dubai, UAE, for last 8 years. He is assisting members in getting job placements. He has actively organized various VAD training programs for members in the industry. He has organized business meets to have a platform for entrepreneurs and industry executives to facilitate networking and explore opportunities. He is a career guide, mentor for university students, and a guest speaker at various forums. is actively organized various blood donation camps and COVID-19 support camps and assisted people through social initiatives. About his professional highlights, he is an auditor and a managing director at Yuga Accounting and Tax Consultancy, Dubai, from June 2013 till date. He's been a finance manager of Prime Travels and Tourism, Dubai, from December 2007 to August 2012. Prior to that, he was accounts manager, East Coast Consultancy India, Chennai, from April 2006 to June 2007. And he was, prior to that, he was senior accounts executive at Hotel Benz Park, Chennai, from October 2004 to March 2006. And has been an audit manager at CA Vijayaraghavan Chartered Accountants, Coimbatore, from June 2001 to September 2004. With his rich experience in India and abroad, I'm sure he would be a very apt person to share what is the role of a chartered accountant from India in Dubai in years to come. Over to you, CEO T. Ugamoorthy.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Naresh Chandragalli. I am very much honored. Thank you for National Conference on International Taxation of ICAI for inviting me for this presentation. And I am thankful for the chairman, C.A. Sanjay Agarwal, for the taxation, and vice chairman and chairman of SIRC, Chinnamastan, and secretary, of course, Naresh Chandragalli. So it's my close connection between UAE and India. So I regularly give talks in various universities in India and colleges. Even recently, I visited Tamil Nadu for some college programs. So I am happy to be part of ICAI Dubai, ICAI India, for giving this kind of presentation and sharing our knowledge through this platform to our young members and senior members who are advising our clients in India for the UAE market. So I would like to share my presentation. Is it visible? Anyone can confirm?
Visible. Selva, yeah, it's visible. Yeah.
So is it in the full screen mode?
It's
correct?
not in the slideshow. As of now, we can see the PPT. Yeah.
Is it now? It's okay.
Yeah, fine, sir. You can go this way. If you wanted, you can put it in slideshow. Yeah, now it's in slideshow. Yeah.
Slideshow. Okay. Okay. So already Naresh sir explained about me. So I would like to talk about these are all the topics I am going to cover today. About UAE, it's first I will cover about UAE and the geography of UAE and what are all the natural resources available in UAE and various types of business and opportunities for our members as an entrepreneur or opportunities in financial sectors and related to tax topics in UAE. Like recently from 2018 onwards, we are all supporting for the tax implementation kind of thing. So I will cover about that area also related to VAT and excise tax and corporate tax. And I would like to go one by one so that it will be easy for members to understand and then plan to come to UAE market for practicing or employment purpose. Is it audible? Everything is perfect?
Fine, sir. Audible and
Yes. Okay. So about UAE, so whenever we speak about UAE, everybody knows in the UAE market. So it's the fifth largest in the Middle East after Turkey and Saudi Arabia. So this United Arab Emirates is a federation of 7 emirates on the southeast end of Arabian Peninsula. So it's 7 emirates, 7 states are interconnected and all called as a United Arab Emirates. If you take as an outside country person, you will know about Dubai and Abu Dhabi. And other than that, we have Sharjah, Ajman, Ras Al Khaimah, and Fujairah. So all this connected together as a Emirates, and it's all combined as a United Arab Emirates in 1971. So that is the state, and one visa will cover all the Emirates. Okay. So the country is between Oman and Saudi Arabia. Mostly you will see the rocky desert in this area, along with seashores. So Emirates is currently they were liberalized from 1971. So all these 6 states already merged to form a UAE in 1972. So that is the history of UAE. UAE, there are 2 largest cities, one in Abu Dhabi and Dubai. So Abu Dhabi is the capital of UAE, and if you see the population of UAE, it's like around 10 million only. If you take in the 10 million, 35% of Indians are staying in UAE. So we call it as like mini India when it compared to India and UAE. It looks like a metropolitan city where you are traveling like Chennai, Bangalore, or Mumbai. So looks like similar, and then like 35% of the Indians are staying here. So whenever we come to Dubai, we feel like it is a home country, like second home country for us. So it's having lot of skyscrapers in UAE. UAE have a largest Guinness record holding. If you take, for example, tallest tower of the world and highest infinity pool and largest dancing show is happening every day in this world. So, and also they have like a deepest swimming pool. A country having a desert, and there are very limited natural resources. They made like wonders in this world. So that is the way you capital of the company. Then this is controlled like Federal National Council and serve as the capital of the UAE. And if you see the UAE economy, it's heavily depends on the oil exports, petroleum and natural gas. Especially in Abu Dhabi, its sources are more. And in Dubai, they mainly moved from oil dependent economy to travel business or tourism sector business and construction related, real estate related, different industry they divert. So that is the advantage of Dubai. When it comes geography of UAE, I will explain about the first geography and then this culture of UAE. Then I will go with the other economical and tax related areas. If you see the map, Abu Dhabi is the one having more largest land area, almost 67,340 square kilometers. It's 86% of UAE like areas. And when it comes to second is Dubai is the one biggest. You see around 3,885 square kilometers the area of the land, and all other Emirates are minimal, below 5% only, you can say. And if you see the geography, and it's mostly desert area and surrounded by sea. That is the how the area's geography is located. And talking about UAE natural resources, the primary natural resources are petroleum and natural gas, as I mentioned to you. So UAE, they produce 3 million barrels of petroleum and liquids per day. So, and has 100 billion barrels as a reserve. Approximately 30% of the country's GDP is directly based on the oil and gas. And other than that, they have scarcity of natural fresh water. It's extremely limited and has been critically overexploited. Even if you see UAE, there is no drainage system available in UAE like India. Whenever rain comes, we have to face all these things like flooded. But here we will not have that. Even we don't have any plan for the rain disturbances. So that is how the UAE is rainfall. It's very limited, and maybe you will expect rainfall in December and January seasons. That also very minimal one. Okay, so how they are managing the fresh water? they will convert the seawater as a drinking water through the desalination plants, and that is how they are managing very well. One proud thing what we can say in UAE, we never face any power cut problems or water problems. Last 15 years I am here in the UAE, so I always tell about this experience. So we never face any day as we are not having power today. Never. It's even if it has any maintenance, we will get a scheduled announcement with before 1 week. So that is how the UAE the leaders are maintaining that the like enjoying the benefits from the government side to the common man. So that one point I have to highlight here. And then nowadays we can see the increasing amount of solar energy are being generated. In Abu Dhabi, Masdar is a big constructor for the solar plants. So they are doing enough work to minimize the using of natural resources and then maximize the benefit from the solar power energy. Like they don't want to spoil all natural resources, so they are converting the solar energy practice now. In addition to that, UAE extract a lot of rock and sand because here is fully desert and rocks only available. So they make limestones and some the cement factories. They are producing more cements here. Those industries are mainly located in the Emirates of Fujairah. Little like from Dubai, it will be like 1 hour travel to Fujairah. All the Emirates are connected by road. It's like within a 1 hour, half an hour distance, you can cross the borders of each Emirate, each Emirates. Okay, so that is how this interconnected each Emirates. Okay. So if you see the industry related to the UAE, these are all the top 10 developing sectors in UAE. UAE mainly doing business in the construction industry. If you see all the skyscrapers, if you see some of the photos of UAE, all these developments happened last during like 20 to 30 years only. So they mainly invest in the construction field. And apart from that, you can see a lot of e-commerce business is now penetrating here. One good thing, if you see in the e-commerce business, if you want to do internationally, all the people sitting here in UAE, they can reach more than 200 nationals from different part of the world. So that is the advantage when you are doing business places kind like in Dubai. So you are immediately reaching almost like 50 countries by introducing one platform in UAE. This will go to using the like population. You are spreading your name to different countries. So that's why whenever some big brands are planning to launch their product, they first try to launch in UAE market, particularly in Dubai. When they are launching in Dubai, so it is reaching to international market. So every person staying here in Dubai, they will take this news to their country. So that is how they are doing the e-commerce developments. In UAE, the first artificial intelligence minister is appointed in worldwide. First announcement came from the UAE ministry. So that is how they operate. Like they are the leaders always trying to do things first, like whichever the way the economy is moving. So that is the way they try to focus. That is the good thing in UAE we can see always. And of course, tourism and travel business is a big one. There are a lot of moving population in this market. All mostly productive people, they used to come and go. They enjoy the skyscrapers. They want to see the UAE. They want to explore the man-made structures. They want to see and then they want to feel everything. So in tourism, they are always attracting. Emirates is the airline connecting, like this is a hub for like European market and Asian market. So it's in between. So they were taking that advantage, and they are mainly depends on the tourism and travel business. So apart from that, real estate is one always up and down is there, but still the steadily they will monitor and then control to avoid any collapse which happened in 2008 in the recession time. And other than that, health and hospitality industry, which we see lot of potentials and lot of good hospital networks are available in UAE market. Majority of the hospitals are run by Indian doctors, and they are doing good job here, and also they are able to promote our Indian style of treatment to the world. So in UAE market, we can see a lot of hospitals are doing that work in a wonderful way. That is one big industry where people are starting in business in UAE. The important one thing is in hospitals they keep like standards are at high level, so that the treatment or whatever the facility they are providing, it's all fully monitored. So all the doctors, they have to properly guide the patients. So full tracking of treatment what they are giving is under controlled by the DHA authority. So that kind of facility they are providing. The health and hospitality industry getting approvals will take some time, like 6 months to 1 year time to do the proper approvals because of the compliances requirement. And apart from that, consultancy business, which is interested by our members. So this area, a lot of our Indian Ces are focusing in the consultancy business. Last 3-4 years from the day VAT was introduced from 2017-18 onwards, the VAT effective came. So from that date, all the Indian chartered accountants, they are trying to focus on this business. One thing I want to tell you, before this VAT introduced, there was no tax related tax related to corporate or sales tax are available here. So when it was introduced first time in 2018, a lot of our members are able to start the business here. Before that, everybody working in industry only. Even nowadays, majority of the members are in the industry only. They will all serve as different positions from accounts manager to CFO level. Even some of the members become a CEO of the companies. So we will go through in the further slides how you will be able to achieve that kind of positions, or your career you can set up in that. Consultancy business, one is advantage here because a lot of business people are coming in and going out. So that is the one place where you can get more clients, and you will be able to generate new business always. Country like India, all people are like staying in the same place. They will not move much, and nowadays they are trying to do expansion in different metropolitan city or different places. So but still that movement is very less. But here it's all like international community always moving here and then moving out. So the different kind of assignments are here available. And apart from that, hotel chains and restaurants are popular here. A lot of business are having international brands are operated in UAE because of too much travelers are coming into the UAE market. So hotel business is one of the best served business in UAE, and also they have 7-star hotels in UAE. Like it is coming under top 10 categories. So that all you have to visit and explore one time to get this how this hotel industry operating. And restaurants also common because of the a lot of tourism people are coming. So international restaurants are available. Even in India, whatever the big brand names are there, they will all have a branch restaurants here. Even if you come to UAE, you will feel like you are in India. That kind of flexibility is there. Quickly, you will be able to reach any kind of restaurant from different states. Based on your experience, you will be able to get it. And other one big business is related to jewelry and beauty product lines. UAE have a richest precious metal trading business. They have a standard. They maintain standards in UAE market. Wherever you go for to buy the jewelry, you no need to feel about the quality of the jewelry because of they maintain the compliances. So whenever they feel there is something going wrong, they will close the business. They will stop the shop running in that. So that kind of controls they put always to avoid any problem to the buyers. That is one thing. And beauty and related products are like perfume industry is popular over here. If you're looking at starting a new business or a new branch, you can advise to your client focus on this kind of business. And other than that, cleaning services is one developing business sector because of the natural calamity like desert. So you will feel like always little dusty. So that the cleaning companies are always giving good service in this market. That business also good. And other than that, security service in UAE market, if you are alone or you are in a crowd, all the securities are properly monitored, like they monitor properly every movement of person or car. It's monitored by security cameras. Wherever you go, you will feel like you are safe. Even at night time, if you are in trouble, if you call immediately within a 5 to 10 minutes, you will reach to the police or ambulances. So that kind of infrastructure they made it. Dubai police always on time. Like whenever you have a trouble, immediately they will be available. So that kind of secured feeling you will have in this country. And okay, what are all the business types available in UAE market? It will be useful for our Indian Ces who are thinking of doing the business or profession in the UAE market, or if they want to advise to the clients. These are all the various types of business models are available. Like in India, sole proprietorship is available for the local people, and civil company professions like doctors and lawyers or auditors, you can go with the category called civil company. And the limited liability companies are available. So whenever you are doing business in trading or other businesses, you will form a company with a limited liability company. Even now, 1% limited liability company also available for the locals, and also for expatriates, you can have a 100% owned company. That option available now. Partnership models also available for the UAE nationals and the GCC nationals. And private shareholding company is another popular one, and public shareholding company is available. It's all monitored and controlled. And branch of foreign companies, representative office, they will form internationally to represent on behalf of the parent company. So they will have a foreign branch companies. So they can do some agreements, they can sign the agreements here, and then they can keep the employees. All those things you can do by using the branches of GCC companies or foreign companies. So these are all the various types of business. Whenever you are setting up the company, based on the business, you can do the analysis and then do the business setup service based on the requirement, based on the capital requirement, or how to minimize the liability to yourself. So all those things based on your plans, you can do that one. And UAE always follow the standard calendar year. So January to December they are following, and that's how they operate. If you want to have a different calendar year, yes, of course you can keep it based on the declaration in the memorandum or passing the business resolution. So there is no restriction to change the year ending also. And if you talk about the opportunities for entrepreneur in UAE, so enter in even as a business people, as an entrepreneur, or as a professional like us to start a business. So a lot of opportunities are available. One thing is you have to understand, comparing with India, UAE market is very small market. It's even geographically it's a small place, and also like number of people coming and going will be more, but the population of UAE, if you take, it will be only 10 million people. So you have to think about that one when you are comparing the different countries. You have to see the geography of the country and then business models of the country. In UAE, lot of opportunities available for entrepreneur. So our members particularly, they all try to join as an employee in the initial stages. Then they will understand the market, how it works, and what are the compliances are available, what are the rules and regulations. And once they become familiar with all those things, then they will try to come out from the employment and then start the practicing services. So that is one thing. And even if you have a good knowledge in your business, then you can start opening the business. And the UAE is allowing 100% foreign owned business now. Even before, it was only for the free zone you can have a 100% as a shareholder. What is the difference between free zone and mainland is one, like ownership, and then tax benefits are available in free zones. But when you are comparing with the mainland business, free zones like a special economic zone in India, so that is developed for some particular purpose or promote the particular industry. Here in UAE, there are 42 free zones authorities are available. Even some of the free zones we represent, we are partnered like with them, and we used to advise our CA members how to set up a business and how to form a company in UAE. All those things, services, even a couple of events I spoke about that. So when you are talking about the free zone, it is easy to start and also do the business internationally, and they give visas for entrepreneurs. So without visa, you will not be able to stay in this UAE. Usually the visa is provided for 3 years. Nowadays, lot of different visas are available, like for the people, like 5 years, 10 years, golden visas are available. So that is more good thing is happening nowadays. They are offering more time for the visas, and mainly they are attracting tech kind of business, like e-commerce kind of business. Nowadays they focus more on their things. So that one area which even some of our members are quite popular in this market. So they are doing that kind of business, and funding and supporting for smaller business. So once you have a business, and then if you are operating doing good, then you will be able to approach the finance. So that is available. And creating a favorable environment for living and working. Yes, I mentioned earlier. So here, and living and working is fully balanced, and they're all happily living and working here. Your productive hours are more because of the infrastructure facilities are provided in such a way you can reach the places quickly, and it's all organized method of even driving or controlling by signals. All those things properly available. Whatever the benefits we are enjoying, we are not paying enough tax here. So that's why they are nowadays they are started implementing VAT or corporate tax kind of things, because of some international alliances they have. So they have to do now all those things. So there are good opportunities available for our entrepreneur to start a practice and explore in this market. But one thing, make sure your personal presence is required in this market to do the business. If you are not, because it's an international community available, there are some problems also can come. Employees working in the country is all from different countries. So if you are operating with a good team, there will be no issues. and setting up a good team always require a lot of planning and selection process. So you got to do properly. And in my experience, if you are not personally available in this market, doing business will be difficult because everybody expects the personal presence here. Nowadays, they are moving forward through online medium. That is also a good way. Yeah, you can do it that way also. So what are all the opportunities our members are currently enjoying? And future members, whoever wants to come, they can focus on these areas. A lot of our members working here as a finance managers or accounts manager and the CFO of the company, head of finance or finance executive and regional finance controller, finance analyst, and other finance positions, even accounting positions some members are keeping. So coming to the employment opportunities in UAE, if you want to come and search for a job, so either you can through online using some different websites and different medium, and once you get an interview, then you can personally visit here using the tourist visa method, or you can come here and then try to approach different companies for the job like positions available. Most of the people are coming through tourist visa and then try to get the job here. That is the one easiest way you can reach to the employer. And through our chapter also we can guide you on that matter. Because ICAI Dubai chapter is having biggest chapter outside the world. We are having around 3,000 members, registered members. Other than that, unregistered members also maybe 2,000 to 3,000 members will be available in this market. Once you reach to Dubai, try to join in our Dubai chapter. So it will be helpful for you to do the connection between the members. Then you will have a wonderful like experience when it comes to networking. By way of networking, you will be able to achieve your like target, whatever, like to reaching to some information or gaining some knowledge about the market, or identifying some positions available in different companies. So that one good thing Dubai chapter always doing that one. So connecting members and conducting regular events. So that way you will be able to reach other fellow members and you can interact with them, and you will enjoy the sessions and other things. So one thing, if you want to come to Dubai, then try to come by tourist visa and try to explore the opportunities available. If anything, feel free to contact us. We can guide you also in that area. That's not a problem. And next one, mainly qualifications, which UAE market, because UAE market having international community. When it comes to chartered accountants category, you have to compete with the UK CPA candidates, or like CS from Pakistan, Sri Lanka, or ACCA from different countries like Philippines. So when it talks about the community, like majority are Indians, and then other than that, you will see only 15% of Emiratis are available here. 15% Emiratis. Most of the Emiratis, in terms of CA course, they will try to do it ACCA course or CPA or CMA kind of courses, and then they will be in the good place and then the good companies. Even a lot of Emiratis, they will go to government related jobs. Other than that, they will be in public sector companies kind of thing. So our Indian CA members have to compete with the ACCAs or Pakistan CAs or Sri Lankan CAs, and Egyptians also available here. So that is our CA course is more than enough to serve in this country. And also a lot of our members, they try to achieve another degree, CPA or CMA kind of thing. That is also good for their future growth. That also it's easily available. You can write the exams through these countries' educational areas. So formal accounting qualification is well and good to get a job in this area. Other than that, our members has to develop other skills like ability to communicate and reporting areas. Anyway, of course, we are all expert in analytical areas. But as Kala ma'am also said, so whenever you do analysis, you don't talk in numbers. You talk in as a storytelling. So that is the only thing which is missing in our CA members are storytelling. So they are good in numbers, but they have to develop the skill sets to build a story or giving a judgment or giving ideas to the operation management and problem solving skills. All those things we have already. Here IT softwares, if you see internationally, different country people are working with different softwares. Popularly here, if you take small level softwares like even we use Tally, QuickBooks, Xero, and Oracle also available. SAP is majority of the places you will see using SAP in the big companies, and Oracle is there used popularly here. And Jogo is one getting popular here for the small and medium level businesses. Yeah, IT software, in terms of software, if you have the knowledge about small softwares or SAP kind of thing, big software, then you will be able to get job in this market. So that is not a problem. And the experience is matters, because most of the time here in UAE market, we used to expect the experience in this market. Why we are asking that one is because of the international accounting standards followed here. UAE is not having separate accounting body, so they follow IFRS standards. In terms of accounting standard, our members are quite popular in upgrading ourselves, and they can follow that methods. There is no issue in that. But one thing I see in the members when they are coming to UAE, they have to learn about multi-currency, how to maintain multi-currency books, and how the process is happening, and different hedging kind of things. So all those things our members has to get experience in that. And also there are some terms used in this market. So slowly you will be able to learn once you are in UAE market. And if you are people trying as an innovative person, then that is mostly well received. In case if you are seeing in this market before 2018, there is not much importance for the tax related matters. So all our members are focusing, once they become a finance manager or CFO of the company, they will try to go to the next level using the operation areas. Most of our members, they're good in operation side, so they are successful also. Why they have to move that kind of area? Because after reaching CFO level, if it is everything set controlled, and if you are not focusing in the operation side, there are chances of losing jobs. So that's why most of the members, more after working 10 years, 15 years, they will try to go to learn operation side, how they are doing, and they all participate in day-to-day business, like a decision-making process, or internationally doing some tie-ups, or like doing agency relationships. So they all more successful when they learn the business model, and then they go for the operation side. So they are all like working as the CEOs of the company. So that is one good thing. And also based on our financial background, we are able to make planned judgment in that process. So that one thing is good in our members community. Yeah. And then what are the roles available for Indian Ces? Yeah, there's a lot of our members working in government companies also, like Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, or even in the immigration department, finance, wherever finance departments are there, our members are available there. So they focus getting jobs in government companies, and even banks. A lot of our members are working in different areas like operation side or reporting area. So that is one popular area, and based on our experience, your experience, you can try to approach the particular industry. One thing you have to see, if you are targeting the banking industry, there are limited banks are available in this market. So if you are having banking experience, you can target the banking industry. And other than that, a lot of multinational companies are there. You can target the multinational companies. When it comes to salary, if you are targeting government companies and multinational companies, you will be able to get good payment. Other than that, there are mainland and free zone companies available in Dubai. When it comes to mainland and free zone companies, like LLC companies will be there, and public sector companies will be there. So you can try to get anywhere in that industry. One thing you keep it in mind, cost of living in Dubai is higher than India. In terms of rental, it's costlier. So you have to plan accordingly for your salary. If you are getting minimum 10,000 dirham salary, it will be starting point. It will be good. 10 to 20,000 range is good for the starting members with limited experience, and then you can grow in further level. So if you are taking below 5,000, like below 6,000 to 7,000 category, then it's like initial as a starter, it is good, because one good thing is when you are available in this market another 2 years by minimum salary 7,000 dirhams or 8,000 dirhams, then maybe after 1 or 2 years you will be able to get good placements in a good salary, like maybe you can double the salary. Places like India, you will not be able to double the salary within 2 years time. So that kind of opportunity is available. So a lot of members focus that kind of like planning, because initially they want to come and learn about the UAE market, and then they will be able to reach their good companies. So that is how the Indian employee seekers are doing. So we can also plan like that. And I will highlight about the tax laws, what are all available in UAE currently. There are different taxes available, like property tax are available, hotel tourism related tax are available. But I'm going to touch about the basic areas where our members are doing more services to the in this community. Okay, so first one is VAT, value added tax, which is introduced in 2018 January onwards. So all the business, whoever has a place of residence in UAE, and if they have a turnover more than 375,000 dirhams, it is equal to $100,000 in previous 12 months of business, any time of 12 months, last 12 months, if you take at any point of time, if your turnover reaching 375,000, then you are supposed to register as a VAT registered member. So here we have around 400,000 businesses registered already as per the FTA data. So the companies running here are in this category. Even the normal restaurants which is doing the small business also, they will be able to penetrate this turnover. So in terms of turnover, it's a very small amount. So if they are reaching this level, they have to register. So what is the benefit when they are registering? Same like India GST. When you are having registered, then you will be able to claim input VAT, input amount, whatever you are spending, you will be able to take the claim. And here value added tax is only 5% on all the items, except small, like when you are doing the export of goods or services or hospital related services, like medical treatment kind of things, they made it as a 0%. All other items are coming under 5% category. So when it comes to 5% category, like same model of GST, you can whatever the output tax payable minus input tax payable, you can pay the net amount to the department. Here VAT filing period is every quarterly we have to file, or monthly also have, based on the company category. If it is a bigger group, bigger companies having bigger turnover, they will make it as a monthly filing. All other companies are enjoying the quarterly benefit. Quarterly means based on their registration that is defined, not on the standard calendar year quarters. So based on their periods, they have to file the VAT returns. So what is the time limit for filing VAT return is after quarter ending, it's 28 days they are giving. So within the 28th day, you have to file the VAT return and then make the payment also. That is the one system they follow. And 0% is popular when it applied when it is when you are exporting goods out of GCC, out of UAE market, and it is followed. And for the some of the hospital medical treatment services, why they are giving 0%? You will be able to claim the input credit, and you can offset or you can refund against the tax. You can offset against tax liability, or you will be able to get the refund from the department. You can submit your request and then get it credited in your account. And exempt categories are there, like financial services or like residential building, and rental of residential is exempt, and bare land selling is exempt, and public passenger transport is coming under exempt categories. When it comes to exempt category, you will not be able to claim the input VAT. So that is the restriction they have. So value added tax is now almost 4 years, 18 onwards it's completed. So if you take about the assessment, what they are doing is anytime they can do the assessment. You have to maintain minimum 5 years of time all the books of accounts. You have to keep all the records properly. In terms of assessment, if they issue notice, then you have to do submit whatever the details they are asking. Mainly in UAE, the language is used in English. If they are particularly asking to provide the documents or some details in Arabic, we have to do translation and submit. So all other places, English is commonly used. Their national language is Arabic. So you have to, whenever it is required in the court of law, you have to produce in Arabic details, Arabic letter representation. And all other places, commonly English is accepted. So that is the way it operates. Even in the VAT department, we be able to give the details by English. Even tax invoice all are accepted in English. Soft copies they are accepting. In case if they found if any difficulty or if any problems are there in the English version, then they will ask to translate in the Arabic version. So that is the way they operate. They are like learning to implement new systems like VAT, and now they're doing good, and they're able to get big revenue generated in the VAT area. Other than that, another tax is available is excise tax. Excise tax is not for all the goods manufactured, only for the carbonated drinks. 50% rate is applied for the carbonated drinks, except for unflavored carbonated water. Okay, so they don't want to tax on the water. If it is carbonated drinks, then it is 50% on carbonated drinks, and 100% for the energy drinks, whichever contain like substances of caffeine or different items in that energy, whichever they are selling in the name of energy drinks, it will come under 100% tax, excise tax. So that is one, and another one is 100% for tobacco and tobacco related products based on the customs tariff. So this is the tax applied for all the cool drinks and energy drinks and tobacco products. Excise tax every month they have to pay, same like the VAT they have to pay and then submit the VAT excise tax returns. The other than that, now the popular topic of UAE is for our members, it's a corporate tax. Yes, of course, after a long time, the tax-free jurisdiction is coming under tax jurisdiction now. So corporate tax is going to start from 1st June 2023 onwards, based on the financial years of your company. Here mostly financial year is followed is January to December. If your company is following the year, like for example June 2023 onwards, then you have to start preparing your books now itself in the proper way. And still the clear details of the law we are waiting, but only the FAQ they issued already. So they already informed us through the public forum. So the corporate tax is going to be a 9%, and still it is a lower than other countries. So it's going to be a 9% calculated up to 375,000 grams. Still they are keeping as a 0% rate. After that, it will be exceeding 375,000. It will be charged with 9%. So area which a lot of our members are going to focus. One good thing is for our members in the practice, they will be able to penetrate more business in this area. Individuals will not be subject to UAE corporate tax based on that dividend or capital gain or any other income and through investments in their personal capacity. That is how they are going to operate. This is in future, once the clear administration like law or regulation comes, then we will be able to share more details about that. So currently this is confirmed by them. So UAE corporate tax is going to start from that period, and all other like same way they are going to give, even if there is a loss in this period, then carry over kind of thing. All those things are will be available. There are some group of companies will be there, so group of company will enjoy some benefits. Those definitions all they will provide so that as a tax group we will enjoy some benefits, because a lot of companies here have the group structure, and then they will be dealing interconnected way, so they will supply as a one company to another company. Because of some restrictions in taking the license as a one company, here based on the nature of business they have to start each license separately. For example, if you are doing car trading business, then you have to keep only the group of car related activities in that license, so that you will have multiple licenses as a group when you are operating. So each category you have to have one license. So when you are having a car business, maybe you will buy some interior work related through another division or another company. So they are going to define how they are going to tax for that kind of group structure. So those announcement has to come. And also one popular thing is free zones are whenever you set up a company is 100% tax free as per the previous regulations and agreements by the companies with the free zone areas. UAE corporate tax also, they will honor how to maintain the incentive for the companies who are operating from the free zones. There is one announcement they told, if they are following that same rule of definition of free zone companies, and then if they are operating outside UAE, then they will not tax. And if they are going to do business with the mainland companies from free zone to mainland, there will be some methods they will follow to tax the free zone companies also. And one thing is all the companies they have to register, so that they will be under the scanner of assessment and other things. So like in India we have to register all companies, so that will be there. And I would like to go with the question and answer session. So if you are particular about the UAE related business or any questions, I am happy to answer.
Yes, sir. I will share my screen. I have some questions.
Okay.
On
I can see one question, any scope for question outsourcing sector?
Any scope for outsourcing sectors in accounts?
There are scope available to outsource the accounts. Even nowadays, lot of companies are using the cloud-based softwares, and also members sitting in India, they were able to do the work also here. There are people are doing that on even. See, one thing you will see here, the people don't want to share all the secrets to the companies outside UAE market. So they are very sensitive in this market because it's a small market. So it's business also easy to copy by other people. So that's why they are having a hesitation using the cloud software also before. Nowadays, because of the COVID situation, a lot of companies they turned through cloud methods, and they are accepting that methods. Still, there is a hesitation in outsourcing accounts to the outsiders. But majority of the companies they started doing that one, outsourcing to accounts. Depends on the operation they are doing. If some are having in-house teams, so even we are taking some outsource work here. But only small companies they do outsourcing to the people like practicing members here in UAE. Yes, there are areas, but you have to focus having an office here. Then only you will be able to get it. And what is the age limit for employment in UAE? Yeah, up to 60 years of age, there is no issue. And after that also, they are giving visas, but based on the skill and based on the decision by the Ministry of Labor, usually they will give 1 year contract for those senior citizens. There are some alternative methods because most of the companies, if they are facing the difficulty in getting the employment visa, if you have a company, you will be able to get a visa as an investor. So when you are taking investor visa or partner visa, you will get 3 years visa. So that way you can try to minimize the risk of losing the visa and leaving the country. And also recently they announced a lot of new category of visa. It's going to come effective from September onwards. In that category, even after the employment period, they are giving some time to stay in this country and then continue their lifestyle. Maybe their family members are available here, so parents they want to stay here. There are new category of visas introduced recently, so that's going to come from September onwards. I think that will not be a problem in terms of age limit. Okay, I am a practicing chartered accountant since last 9 years from India. My major is direct taxation. I want to join in the industry. Yes, there is no direct taxation in UAE. How can I get job in UAE, majorly in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, which sector? Okay, so when you are practicing chartered accountant, my personal advice is continue as a practicing member, because nowadays a lot of members are going to employment only. But practicing areas are very less members only available. Even in UAE market, very less people only doing practice. You can focus on UAE market with the taxes and practice. Now it's corporate tax is coming. That is one good news for you, and VAT available. So both are practiced by our Indian members. Here in, if you see, other than taxes in area, you have different areas like valuation is there, and setting up the companies are there, planning like management, MIS related works are there. Those areas you can focus. It is available. There are different areas you can focus as a member. Okay, next question: is there any scope for Indian practicing CA if we regularly visit, remain connected with the business person? Okay, yeah, there are members in this industry, in this area. They do as a part-time practice also, part-time CFO practice also they are doing. If you want to do that kind of service, you will be able to take a license under your name as a consulting person. Professional license you can take it, 100% owned by CA member. So when you are having a consulting license, you will be able to make an agreement with the company as a providing part-time practice like CFO kind of thing. That way you can do it. Once you have a company in your name, you will be able to get a visa, so that you are officially allowed to work as a freelancer or as a business to business. You can do it. Yes. Next question: can we adjust input of 0% service against other output liability if we have a domestic sales also? Yes. Yeah, it's allowed. See, some companies, they will do only trading activity, buying and selling. When they are buying and selling, if they have a input as a service category also, like maybe they will buy some kind of consulting service from other experts, or maybe they will have a service related to office maintenance, they can adjust against that one. So whatever input tax you are spending, there are few exceptions. One I will highlight to you: petrol bill. If you are having a petrol, when you are having a car in the company name, if you are not using 100% in the company purpose, then you will not be able to claim the input tax. Those kind of restrictions are available. When you are using some resources of company as a personal purpose, then you will not be able to claim. And even mobile, if you are using official and like personal mixed way, you will not be able to claim. Otherwise, you have to maintain purely tracking of all those mobile calls. That kind of restrictions are there. That is one thing. How much it costs to set up office and yearly recurring cost? Okay. So cost depends on the place where you are selecting the business. I will give you some idea how much it will cost you to run a business as a consultancy. If you are setting up a free zone operated license, initially you will be able to get in the 20,000 dirhams. 20,000 dirhams is equal to 4 to 5 lakhs rupees in India. You will be able to set up a company with a flexi office and a visa. If you are going to the mainland company, the license fee will be less, but you have to keep office for your purpose. Like you have to take an office on rental basis. Minimum rental will cost you per square feet will be 100 dirham average. I'm telling you, 80 to 100 dirham. Based on the location, it will change. So if you are taking a small office, maybe for 500 square feet of office, it will cost you minimum 50,000 dirhams. It's equal to 10 lakhs to 12 lakhs rupees in India. So that is the yearly recurring cost. License cost will be there. Visa you will get fees, and other than the running cost will be your traveling cost will be there, and electricity and other things will be there. So for example, take one cost of office, it will be minimum 25 lakhs minimum. I'm telling, and then other than that, salary and other things you will add it based on the number of employees. Okay, for an investor, what is the amount to invest to get a permanent residence? See, permanent residence is not available in this country. All are treated as a visa basis. You will be able to get 3 years visa or 5 years visa or 10-year visa. Only these options are available. If you want to get 10 years visa, you have to do a big investment in manufacturing company, or you have to buy a property around 2 million to 5 million kind of things. There are some categories available for golden visa category. But when you want to do a small investment and get a 3 years visa, its best option is to start a consultancy company or a trading company. Through that company, you will be able to get 3 years visa. So that is the best option and cheapest option available to get a residence visa here. Selva, any other questions?
Sir, one more question. Just last.
Any other question? Yeah.
Yeah. Is it visible, sir? Last question.
Yeah. which authority will operate the taxation across the UAE? Yeah. Will they have the terms, taxation rates across all the UAE? Have they issued the regulatory guidelines or any BAR Act? Yeah. See, the taxes operate the taxes across the UAE is followed 10 same tax rules. If you want to get more details about the taxes and rates and guideline, you can refer the website called Ministry of Finance, mof.gov.ae. Okay. Even if you Google corporate tax in UAE, you will be able to get it. Selva, you can type mof.gov.
.ue.
Yeah,
Hello.
.ae. mof.gov.ae.
Yes, sir.
So if you go inside, you will be able to see FAQ related to corporate tax. It is available.
Sure.
And taxation rate, yeah, it's across the UAE is the same taxation rates. Have they issued? Yes, they issued a guideline in the form of FAQ, and full act we are waiting for that one. Probably end of this year we are expecting. So that once that comes, then we can get a more clear idea. Since with the introduction of corporate action, will the scope of transfer pricing? Yes, there are scope available for the transfer pricing. Yeah, so if you want all this information, it is available in the website of mof.gov.ae. You will be able to get all the resources in that one place. The FTA is the authority controlling tax related areas here. So visit the website for the tax.gov.ae. Silva, you can type that one also.
Yes, sir. Tax.
1 second. I will. Yeah. Tax.gov.ae.
Yes, sir. I have sent it.
Yeah. So yeah. So the Federal Tax Authority website having all information related to VAT and excise tax, and even there are some areas like residency. You can convert in English also. It will be available in English also. So that website and these two websites will give you more information about
Okay. I have shared it
guidelines
to
and
all
taxation rules.
audience. Naresh, sir, over to you.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Hello. Am
Yes,
I
sir, you're
audible?
audible, sir. Yes, you're
sir.
audible, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir.
So actually, I think the amount of discussion on these three countries, or these 6 countries in these 3 days, I think has been very detailed, and I'm sure all the members are aware of the basics, at least, of what is happening in these 3 countries. What is the role of a chartered accountant which we can play in these areas? And I'm sure all these 6 speakers have taken us through to have a basic understanding of the roles of chartered accountants. So I'd like to thank each of the speakers who spoke on these 3 days, and thank you very much, CA Ugamoorthy, for sharing your rich experience about UAE. But one point which I also wanted to know was, is it compulsory that you should also know the local language, or English is okay?
Sir, here English is commonly followed by all the nationalities. So English you can anywhere you can manage. Even our South Indian languages are popular here. So
very good, very good.
yeah,
Very
because
nice.
I told you 35% of the members are like a community from India. So wherever you go, you will be able to manage without English also. So Hindi and Malayalam, Tamil, you will be able to manage with that language.
Very good, very good. I think that's a better. A lot of opportunities are there then. So it's for young members and members who want to expand their activities can definitely look forward. I'm sure all these 6 speakers were very open in terms of supporting our members. I'm sure you will be getting a lot of inquiries from our members about maybe they want to set up or work for a placement or activity like that. So thank you, sir. Thank you
Sir,
very much for.
Yeah, I am
Yes, sir.
available for any queries even after the event. If anything related to UAE, if you want to set up a consultancy, I am feel free to contact me. I can guide you related to setups, all those things. I am happy to get these chances like this to represent on behalf of UAE how to do the business. Particularly, young members are coming forward. But one thing you keep it in mind. The pricing and cost of living is different comparing with India. In India, you will be able to start a practice without having any investment. Even from our home, you can start the practice. But here it is not like that. You understand the differences and then try to plan for your business, because here first 1 year, 2 year, you have to build your brand name and you have to get the clients. Up to that, you have to work hard for that, because that fixed investments is high. That also keep it in mind, and then after that you will be able to achieve your success. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you all the members for joining for these 3 days and being very active part in this international taxation part. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.